Beautiful. Okay, so let's get into the meat of things for the next 30, 40 minutes, however long. Beautiful. Okay. We have been dealing with the subject or following on from image bearers. What I have sought to do in the last couple of weeks is to have a bit of an expansion on what has been taught, and also kind of leading to our end of year love celebration. 31st happens to be on Sunday. We'll play it by ear. We might not take an afternoon an afternoon or a lunchtime service, but maybe do a night service. But we'll see what Pastor K says because he runs it. So what he decides, we do. And we are ever so grateful to God. I take this occasion to celebrate the another addition to the Wi-Fi family. Beautiful Princess Signs and Wonders has been added to the family. So reach out to Pastor K and Sister Mary and just wish them well, celebrate them. I was saying to someone that, Pastor K had a baby. He's like, again? I'm like, how? You see? Because in their mind, it was just like yesterday that he had one and he's had another one. So yeah, thank God. So beautiful. It's beautiful. Will anyone do us the honor of a recap of last week's? Sure, I might start on a few things, but Ma, do you want to take it? Or you are busy thinking about cleaning?
I'm not sure I remember what was said last week. I'm sorry.
Your brain is filled with cleaning. I don't know anything. Latest CEO in town.
I know you had a very good session last week, but to be honest, I took it and it disappeared from the system. I think it did what it did, and now I don't need it anymore. So I'm waiting for a new session. Thank you.
Yeah, I know you were not like here. I know. I'm only pulling your legs. Yeah. So I have been thinking about I have been thinking a lot on a few things. When I did meet with Brother Ishmael before he left for Ghana, he shared certain things with me. Interestingly, sometimes these are things that we think about, but maybe we don't think about them enough. I'll say. And a friend who happened to be with us during Image Bearers did ask me a question. I think she's struggling a little bit with this whole concept of learning from nature being my teacher, and spirituality that is in keeping with the dictates of nature. It's a bit troubling for him, or he finds it a bit troubling, and I've done my best to bring a bit of clarity best I can. But it's evident that religion is in the way in most instances. It's in the way in most instances. So even when truth stands in front of us, we fight it, we resist it. And whenever we have resistance, it becomes difficult for what is trying to get in. See, it becomes difficult. And based on that, I will encourage all of us to open ourselves up. And it's challenging to tell someone not to resist, see, when their default is to. But just embrace letting go. Because you can't fill a cup that's already full. Can you? You cannot fill a cup that's already full. Neither can you grab if you're already holding on to something. We are able to accommodate because we make space. Without making space, we can't fail. Okay. I'm going to ask us a question and hopefully get some thoughts around. Does it matter? Okay. Does it make a difference? These days, you do hear there's a lot that people say, oh, I believe in God, but I'm not religious. Myself, I've said this to a few people sometimes when they've asked me about what religion I am, and I say that I am not religious, I'm spiritual. And they're like, oh, what is the difference? It's the same thing. See, does it matter that one views or how one views themselves spiritually? Does it matter how one views themselves spiritually? If there is anyone who says that, you know, all of this spirit thing doesn't make any difference for me, what does it prove? I wake up, I sleep, I wake up, I leave, I do my bits, I get what I need in life, I get provision. What difference does it make for me to embrace spirituality? Does it matter?
Well, as to a person saying, oh, well, they don't care whether they know about it or not, it doesn't mean they don't operate it one way or the other or in their daily lives. It's like someone saying, no, I don't believe in gravity. It doesn't mean they know, you know, you're not working with gravity or nature, because if they still jump, they will fall, or if they jump up, they will come down. So it doesn't really it doesn't matter whether they are aware of it or not. You will still operate in it. But the question is, if you're conscious of it and knowing the knowledge about it and using it to your advantage is, is important. So for a person understanding what life is all about, starting from their spiritual life, makes all the difference in their lives. Because if I understand, because of what I now know, okay, spiritually, I always use myself as an example. I don't live life in fear as compared to years ago. My belief were different, where I believed there were, witches here and there, this one, that one, going to bed and you have to pray before you sleep and all of that. All of those things formed my beliefs, even to the point of the dreams I had. You understand? So my understanding now has liberated me. If I a lot of people are, in under pressure, under all sorts of bondage mentally, because of the things they don't know. So if you come into that truth, that spiritual understanding, it will help you live a different life, a better life, a more fulfilling life. Now, when we say that is, it all comes to, like I said earlier, understanding, or that kind of knowledge you are exposed to. Someone say, okay, before I never used to go to church, or I didn't believe in God. Now I believe in God. I've become born again and I've become spiritual. But ask yourself, yes, you become spiritual, but there's still a bit of fear, some kind of bondage there somewhere, if not even worse. Because maybe before you didn't believe in any kind of witch, somebody is doing me or doing that. But now, since you started going, it's the kind of prayer they are praying to kill all the witches in your house, to do this, to do that. And that even puts fear in you, because guess what? That's witch, you don't even know them. All the things you're fighting against, you've not seen it before. You've not encountered it physically. Negative things happen in our lives, and you just attribute it to it. But if you get to a certain understanding that, look, even to attract any negative thing, it's all boils down to how I'm thinking things, how I'm seeing things. For anything to have power, nothing has power over you until you give permission to it. You'll be confident in life. You understand? You'll be confident. You would know that, okay, God has given you everything that pertains to life and godliness. He's giving you everything. It is in your control. It's in your hands. Nobody else, even death. Until it's your time to go. Most people give the power, their power. Unless it's your time, the agreement you've made when you came, that, okay, at certain age, this age, I'm going. But there are most of the time, we give power to it. I've worked in places where I know people, when you've seen a few people, they start, when they pass on, sometimes you realize, oh, they actually gave power to it. You hear that them say, no, I want to go. They keep saying it, no matter how strong the person is. Before you know it, that's it. So God has given us everything, it's in us. So I believe understanding our spirituality is, the question is if we understand the right thing. Yeah.
Thank you. Any more? Doesn't matter. Doesn't make a difference. Anymore? Mary, are you there? I can't see you. Is she there?
I can see her.
Oh, how come I'm not able to see her?
You have to swipe to see the whole group on your thing, right? Maybe you are seeing yourself.
No. I've just changed. I've changed the view. I think you were hiding. I found it. Yeah, go on.
I don't think about it. It doesn't. Well, if you have an end that you, if you have, like, the question is, must you believe in something? That must you
okay?
have an?
Let me. Can I? I'm not sure if maybe. Oh, are you saying that rephrasing my question, or you're just answering it? Because
You ask the question. Does it matter?
I've not even talked about belief. Yeah, but yeah, go on.
Okay, what are you saying? Does it matter to what?
Doesn't matter that someone embraces spirituality. Doesn't make a difference.
But what yeah, that is still embracing spirituality is what? What does it mean to embrace spirituality?
So you are not even listening to the question in the first place. So let me say it again. So I came from the place of saying that I've come across folk who say, "Oh, I'm not religious. I'm spiritual," and you get folk who also say that it doesn't even make a difference whether spirituality or being religious is the same to me. It doesn't mean anything. And you get people who say, "Well, me, I wake up, I sleep, I do my stuff. I don't feel any connection to anything. I'm just living life as life." So does it matter? Now, the question.
And yeah, if the person doesn't see any difference in himself, in life, in whatever that he does, it doesn't really matter to be religious or spiritual. It doesn't. It doesn't, because it all depends on where the person is coming from, what his level of understanding is, and if like we use the word atheist, like somebody who doesn't have a theology in mind, like it hasn't put on objectified anything as a god or whatever. It doesn't mean that he's not spirit. See, and so if somebody doesn't, then I use the word belief because being religious, being spiritual, all these are, to me, these are concepts. Like spiritual, what is it? Religion, what is it? You get what I mean? All these are, like, if I say, okay, this person is spiritual, it's an idea of what I'm seeing or him do or believe or whatever. But really, if I say, if I show you a tomato and say, oh, if I show you a banana, is it spiritual? Yes, because it's what it is. It's nature. It's natural. It shows up. It disappears. To me, that is, we are all spiritual. So that going the extent of saying I am that ABCD is just you now conceptualizing something. Otherwise, from top to bottom, we all are spirit. And the analogy is given in the Bible where somebody is going to church or whatever, and Jesus said, you see your brother here and you don't acknowledge him, but the God you don't see, you are in a rush to go and probably do your dues, due diligence, do all the acts because that of what you perceive or believe, to be spiritual. But to me, I mean, to use the word spiritual, it's just a word to me now. Like, this is where I'm coming from. You're wanting to conceptualize a thing or take a different step to say, okay, this is how I see things, this is whatever. This is where your mind is going. That's fine. It's still your mind, it's still your body, it's still your thought, it's still your brain. All these are things happening in you, and you are that, right? So yeah, to me, somebody taking the step to say, I'm religious or I'm not, I'm spiritual, I'm not, and all that, it's just an idea. It's just an idea. It's just what is he's hearing, or just what he's perceiving, or just what is happening around him. And so he's now taking a step to say, okay, because of this or because of that, I choose to do this or I choose not to do this. I choose. All these are conditionings around him that is impacting what he's saying. But really, the question that I'll ask such a person is, who are you before you were named? There's no name to it. Who are you before your mother and father, or the day you were born? Who were you? Were you Sam? Were you that? See, so I think the difference is identification here, because if we take all the things that we believe or don't believe aside, who are you? You are that, and that is spirit, in my opinion. That is, it doesn't have a name. See, to me, that is all of us, from the being. And to add to the lady or whoever that is talking that have a problem with nature, I mean, what else can they tell you about who you are or about whatever that there is than that which is around you? Jesus gave a good example again. You don't see God. So then whatever that you see or choose to believe in you is just a belief. It's just an idea. See, it's just an idea. So it doesn't really matter. Is it necessary to have an idea of something? Spirit, whatever, does it matter? Or maybe matters to somebody because it gives you a certain perception, and like Amma said, gives you confidence. I think it gives you something to hold on to.
An illusion
It
of
gives you,
comfort, I call it.
yeah, and like the Buddha would say, it's a crutch, it gives you something to lean on. But that is why religion or Christianity is like a doctrine or something that you believe in, and then you have some sense of, oh, there is something taking care of me and all that. It gives you some crutch. But there's a difference between a scaffold, that which people stand on to build a high tower, the scaffold. All these things that we believe, spirituality, religion, whatever, they are scaffolding. But when you finish building that house, you don't stand on the scaffold. The scaffold is no more a part of the building. See? So they are means, but they are not that. They are not a building. It's like a ladder. A ladder, you climb up to the top, you kick it, and then it falls down. So whether you are spiritual, religious, whatever, all these are probably ways and means, but they are not the real thing to me. So it doesn't really matter. It doesn't matter.
Thank you. Winnie, are you there? Your thoughts? That is if you are in a space to speak. Okay. Thank you.
So I'm listening. No, Stacey, I'm listening.
Okay. Thank
I
you.
don't have much to say, honestly.
Okay. Thank you. Interesting. No, I was saying last week that I remember I said this a few years ago, that not believing in the divine presents a conundrum to the one who claims they are atheist in that when they feel graciousness, who do they thank? Okay. You still say thank God and you say thank God and you don't believe in God. It's a bit ironical for me, but it's just one of those things. And I also said humorously that you can't believe in love and call yourself atheist. It doesn't make sense. Brother Ishmael shared with us last time, or did he share with us, or was doing a conversation outside? And he says that we've shared this here a few times that, in fact, I have come to a place of accepting that, in all fairness, those who claim to be atheists are probably more spiritually attuned than those who claim to believe in God. And the reason is very simple. Most of my friends who claim to be atheists, what they reject is the concept of a sky God. That is all. Not that they don't believe. So if they believe in self, is they believe in God, because God is the existence as yourself. Okay. And this trips people because it makes them think, oh, why can you say, oh, me being human, you are only human, and why are you equating yourself to God? And they did the same. When the Son of Man said that I and the Father are one, he said, have you know your parents? Why have you picked stones to stone me? For a good word, for good work, we stone you not, but you being man, equating yourself to God, that's blasphemy. So we stone you. And he said, is it not written in your books that ye are gods, and all of you, unto whom the word of God has come, are children of the Most High God? That if you call them gods, when he says unto whom the word of God came, and the scriptures cannot be broken, how then do you pick up stones to stone me? Because I've awakened to the fact that if the divine exists in me, as me. That's not blasphemy. That is an acceptance or an acknowledgement of truth. Okay. That is because sometimes we take humanity for granted. We underestimate what being human is. We consider humanity to be synonymous with weakness and frailty and discomfort. These are some of the things which get in the way when we want to, or we get confronted with appreciating the divinity about our humanness. But once we strip those things away, we begin to realize that of a truth, we are nothing but pure individuations of the one divine essence. See? So it's not blasphemy in any way. And does it make a difference? Well, I'll probably say the only difference that it could ever make is in that, when the purpose of a thing is not understood or it's not appreciated, abuse is inevitable, you wouldn't probably, not knowing the being that you are, you will probably take yourself for granted. I said this last week that if you come to the awakening of how awesome you are, you probably fall at your own feet and worship. See? So not being armed with that understanding might deprive you of certain pleasures. And I use the word pleasures here because all of what we seek, I say, is universal. all human desire has the denominator of love, peace, sound mind, which give us a feeling of pleasure. Everything that we look for in life is centered on this: love, peace, harmony. That's all. That's why I shared when we were doing the love series, I said that I've come to a place of also accepting that all of human actions are inspired primarily by love. And you take your time and think about it. Even the one who steals, even the one who acts cruelly, it's probably because they love themselves more than the other. That's the only reason why they express that cruelty. See, the foundation of all human action is love. But when we are not, when we are unskilled, when our consciousness is not at a higher frequency, it shows in a way that appears detrimental to the other, because we are not awakened yet, or we are not awakened enough. See, so it stops us, so we stop short of the considerations we should make, even as we are expressing ourselves in the line of our desires, which is primarily founded on love. The one who feels a beloved attacked and they rise to their defense, in the process of that, they may hurt, maim, or damage someone else. But that act was primarily inspired by love for something, just at the expense of something else. When we begin to look at life like this, it does change a lot of things, I'll say, for me. So yes, it doesn't really make much difference, but I equally accept that for me, if it does, it will be in that space where, because of the lack of understanding of who you are, or the being that you are, you probably wouldn't have full access or be a full beneficiary of the grace that has been bestowed on you, because you may not have understood it for what it really is. Okay, so you might be living short of your experience, or the fullness of your experience as a divine being. So that is how I see it. Spirituality. Go back to because of the space that we find ourselves in, I'll use the Jewish account of creation. And we say this humorously, that every culture, every civilization has made an attempt at giving an account of human beginnings. May I finish my meeting, please? Has made an attempt at giving us an account of what the origins of human life is. And it's just what it is. It's just an account, because no one was there. You see, nobody was there. No one. Nobody was there. No one has been. Everything is just an account from someone's perspective, someone's understanding, and it's fine. So we can borrow from it to explain certain things, or to teach ourselves certain things. Original says this, that in his spiritual philosophy, okay, to ascertain the truth or the veracity of a spiritual philosophy or teaching, it must be able to stand the test of nature. Okay. If it can be proven by nature, then it's as good as garbage. And why is that? Because, and I have come to accept that, because it is what supports us. The earth is what supports us. You support the universe and its elements. So you talk about earth, talk about water, fire, wind. The mind goes back to Captain Planet, isn't it? And heart. You know, it supports us. So if the philosophy or if the principle cannot be verified or is not consistent with what nature teaches us, then we can question it. So the account goes like this, that God made man, created Adam, created Eve, gave them a garden. Okay. And you don't see anywhere there that man was given religion, going by that account. You don't see anywhere there that man received an instruction to pray. You don't see anywhere there that man received an instruction to worship. You don't see anywhere there that man received an instruction to do praises, anything of the sort. You don't see anywhere there. And I don't want to go into the ins and outs of how it came to be, which is also open to interpretations, open to or subject to interpretations or perspectives. But that in itself teaches us one thing, that all we are and all we've been and all we ever supposed to be is to enjoy the benevolence of Father God, Source, whatever you want to call it, and find our best expression of what He's coded us with, or what we have been coded with as a result of our emergence. See? And once we keep that in mind, I believe it's useful. Because nature itself is the entire embodiment of the divine. Nature is God and teaches us everything about God. So David says in Psalm 19 that the heavens declare the glory of God, the skies proclaim the works of His hands. Day authors speech unto day, night authors speech unto night. And there is no speech, no language where their voices aren't heard. So the universe is in a constant communion, constant interaction with everything that is in it contained. Somali says that there is a natural mystic flowing through the air. And if you listen carefully, you will hear. The life that we have received comes from life itself, because God is life. And that life gives us life. It's the purest form of energy that is vibrating at various frequencies. At one frequency, we experience it as a tree. At one frequency, we experience it as an animal. At one frequency, we experience it as humans. And that's why I said last week, see, No, it doesn't even matter whether the argument is not whether you are your body or you're not, and all that. No. But the question I'm trying to say is, I'm sat here in front of us, or we sat here having interactions as we speak. What we are all seeing is not us. Would you agree with that? What I'm seeing is your face, your body, but I can't see your emotions, I can't see your feelings, I can't see your thoughts, I can't see your spirit. But your body offers me a form to connect with, to interact with. And I believe that when we embrace the idea that we are spirit, for want of the better word, I'll use the idea that we are spirit beings, then it makes sense for us to find out how, or to decode how we can interact more on a spiritual level, as opposed to leaving all our interactions within the space or the confines of form or body. And that is what I believe with the coming weeks, even as we wrap up this year, going to 2024, as I've shared, it's my desire that them, as many as are open to joining this journey, will share with them what I'm equally experiencing in this space. Unfortunately, what we have succeeded in having, we've made for ourselves graven images. That's our own ideas of what God should be like, which is in sharp contradistinction to what nature presents. So I will put a plug here. I've got a few things bubbling in me, but I'm just holding myself a little bit. If anyone has got anything to chip in briefly from what I've said so far, please feel free, and I'll talk for 5 more minutes and we end the session. Go for it. Are we there?
Yeah, thank you. Thank you. I think it's very beautiful that for me, this is where my understanding is that me as a being, I don't see like an aperture through which the divine sees and hears and feels and experience. That's how I see me. That's how that's how I perceive everything, nature, as one, and I'm not separate from that, and that's beautiful like that. So then, if I come to this understanding that I am one and the same as nature everywhere, and I'm not separate from that. I'm connected to nature, like you said, and I think that's what Brother Ishmael wanted us to bring our understanding that you see the fact that you are not stuck, you are not positioned like a tree is situated in the ground doesn't mean that you are not part of it. We are one universal intelligence. expressing itself in different forms. And to me, the form is not separate from that intelligence. It is that intelligence. That's what I perceive as spirit. My body is spirit. And so I don't see my body separate from spirit. I see, because you see, just as an apple tree will bear fruit of an apple, and then it drops to the ground, it disintegrates, or it gets into the body, it digests, it comes out. It's the same process. Think about it. We all go through this process of connectedness to nature and everything. And the universal mind is that expressing itself as tree, snake, being, all that, seeing itself through these beautiful formations. See? So I don't see me as a being, this body, which, like the apple that drops and would disintegrate. This, when it drops, would disintegrate and resolve and dissolve as something else, and will take a form of something else again. Does it mean that I am separate from that spirit that is flowing through me? No, the spirit has formed as a body. So I don't see me as me being body and then spirit. I see me as spirit and in body and form. See, that's my understanding. And it's the same with the apple tree and the apple plant. The same with the banana, and all these are forms. Okay, but like at a higher level, I have that intellectual ability to make decisions and to think, and my brain is exactly the same as that brain of the snake, the whatever. You see, all this intelligence is powerful like that. Where, think about it this way: how does your body know to digest food? That's pure intelligence. How does your body know to, all this is happening? And it's spirit. All this is happening in you without you thinking about it. See? And so to me, that is beautiful. That is, when we use the word omnipotence, this is what I learned from when we say omnipotence, meaning, oh, God does everything. I think you do everything. Think about it this way. How are you able to see? And at the same time, whilst you're seeing, you're eating and digesting food and using your hand. And all these are forming. How does the centipede, with so many legs, moves these legs at the same time? These beautiful truths are picked from nature, and it's all around us. And I think if we take our time to understand all that is around us, we understand ourselves even better. And the God that we have projected to be outside of us will be much closer. And you would come to that understanding. And I learned this from Buddhist tradition. Why they have God with so many hands? You know why? Because it does everything at once. Omnipotence, that's the meaning. To me, that brings everything closer home. And makes me understand myself even better. That this same body is able to chew and digest and do everything all at once without thinking about it. I don't think about how I digest my food, but it does. Is that not spirit? To me, that is spirit, because I cannot explain it. It is miraculous like that. I can't explain it. I can't explain how I digest food, but I do. And we are missing this beautiful experience because of the way we've projected things and God asks that it has to be this way. And so it's this veil, this thoughts, these images have veiled the being, the truth of our being, which is right here. And it's just that. It cannot be explained. And that is inspiration. Divine inspiration is not, the way we like to use the Genesis, where we put words together. Some things you cannot explain, like Tesla would say, I feel the vibration. He was hearing and connected to the beauty of this world, and things came out of him. See, it's all there's so many things as spirit beings that we cannot explain, but it's happening all around us. And we are missing it. Why? Because of the veil of thought, because of the way we've been conditioned and how we should image one plus one is two, A plus A then B is Abba, and all that. So these are concepts that are blinding us from really appreciating the divinity that we are, the omnipotence that we are, the omniscience that we are. And to me, this is spirit. My body is spirit. It's not separate from a spirit or something out there. It is spirit. Thank you.
Yeah. Come on.
I don't have much to say. I believe what I wanted to say was what I shared in the question that you asked. Unless is there another question?
There isn't. Because I have awakened to the truth that there is indeed this essence or this self of me that is beyond my mind, beyond my thoughts, beyond my feelings, beyond my emotions. And it's having an experience that is dictated by infinite divine intelligence. And that, the thought of that shakes me sometimes. There's a difference between hearing something and being attuned with something. That's the reason why, sometimes you can be having the same conversation with someone, or you can be hearing something over and over again. You think you've heard it, but at a material point, you feel like you have become one with what you're hearing. I'm not sure if what I'm trying to explain is clear. You can be hearing, but this thing, we hear it all the time, but there's one moment, it hits you to the point that word becomes flesh, and you just can't awaken from it. You're binded with it. Your divine essence is not capable of sabotaging itself. It can't. And when I embraced this, it brought me to the place of understanding prayer, for instance, in a totally different form to what I've always thought it was. And now I see it as me raising my vibration, or getting aroused to the vibration of the power that I'm seeking to give expression to per time, and allowing it to find expression through me. So for instance, if a part of my body is aching, I'm not praying for somebody to heal me or for something to heal me, but having an understanding that the divine source and the divine essence of which I'm a part is all life, is wholeness, and raising my vibration to that vibrance and that wholeness, and allowing it to find expression through me at that material time. That is a difference, or there is a difference. I did something weird. Yeah, I say it weird because it might not make sense to yourselves, but I challenge you to try it and tell me why you find. Okay. Before you go to bed. Particularly if you have the benefit of being by yourself. Ask yourself a question. Genuine question. For instance, what is the universe seeking to do for its highest good through this unit of a self that I call me? Okay. Questions like that. And put on a recorder on your phone and sleep. When you wake up, find time and listen to it. You might hear snoring and silly sounds you make while you sleep. Yeah. I can guarantee you, in the midst of that, you will equally hear potent answers that will blow you away. This got shared with me, and I decided to try it, and now I've gotten addicted to it. You will be surprised how much you begin to download concerning the things that your heart is indicted. I've said this a few times. If all the radia we've done, if all the yeah we've done, if all the Chechenese we've been through, if it's giving you answers and it's giving you fulfillment to carry on. But if it hasn't, maybe it's time to reevaluate what you've always believed and how you've always done it. If you have been receiving equipping, and yet again, when life buffets you, your initial response is that of panic and fear. Check what you've been feeding yourself and check what you've been yourself to. We pray. I want you to, for the next couple of minutes, ask yourself the same question. What is the divine seeking to do through me for his highest and ultimate good? It's a question I ask myself every single day.
I have a question with that. So like, if I may ask, what is the divine seeking to do through me? Meaning that you are separate from the divine, isn't it? Through me. So who are you that the divine is
what
doing
is
through?
the divine seeking to do
through
me for his highest good?
Yeah, that's what. So that what does it mean? Through me, meaning that I am here, the divine is working through me, meaning I'm separate from the divine. Right?
It's not. You are not separate from the divine. If you are,
so
if
why
you,
that question then? I'm not getting it. That's why.
Okay.
That's how it sounds to me. What
That's
is
how
it?
it sounds
It's like, oh Father, like me praying and say, God, do whatever you want to do through me, or do whatever.
No, it's
That
not. It's not. It's
typical
not.
prayer
It's
kind
not.
of
No, no.
thing.
It's not you asking to do what is doing through you. You are asking to understand what is desiring to do through you per time. And the reason is
And
very,
who
very.
are you is the
Oh,
question
wait,
I'm
wait,
asking.
wait. The reason is very simple. The will of man is an institution. Okay.
So you are talking about man as separate from the divine.
Not man as separate from the divine. What I'm saying is very, very simple. But you are overthinking it, and that's probably why it's not making sense. But if it doesn't make sense, it's fine. It's a very, very simple question, because it is the occasion to get into yourself and download from divine intelligence. That's the whole point of this. Have you ever been, if you have ever been in a place in life where you ask yourself, what should you do, or what should I do? That is what I'm pointing to. If you've never been in a place where you don't know what to do, if you have ever been in a place where you feel like you are at crossroads and you don't know what to do, that is where I'm pointing to. Because divine intelligence knows all things. But because sometimes we are informed, and there are conditions which clutter our receptivity to what the divine is flowing or expressing per time. That is why we use tools like this to position ourselves to download what divine essence is pouring through per time. Okay. So if it makes sense to you, by all means ask it. If it doesn't, then don't. And just listen for what is coming through.